Hello everyone. Welcome to Connor's monthly vlog. I am your host, Connor. It is December 2024, almost halfway through 2020, which is an odd thing to think, but nonetheless, welcome. And this is my final monthly vlog. Now then, we're going to do things a little bit differently. We're not going to do it like your traditional vlog. There will be still elements of that. I'll still be vlogging throughout the month like normal. But I will be reflecting on some of my favourite moments from that I've documented in the last 15 years. I felt it was important to still do that. I was considering sitting down and talking and thinking about everything and having flashbacks as I talked, and I thought, no, that won't do it justice. And then I thought, oh, what do I do then? I don't know. And the best thing that seems to come to my mind right now is that we relive some of it together. So, might just be one clip, might be a whole segment, because back in the day I used to do big segments, musical segments, even with the footage, and it's just something that I thought about doing, and I thought, what a way to celebrate everything that I've done here for half of my life, than to make a little highlight episode towards the end. I thought about doing this as a separate thing, but it didn't feel right. It didn't feel right to do a big finale end on the last month of the year and then do another episode at some point later. I mean, I thought about it as an epilogue or as just something else. I thought about making a video called 15 years and putting all my favourite moments into there, and I just thought it didn't seem right. It did not seem right at all. So instead, we're just gonna have little highlights appear as I go through this month. And this month is looking to actually be okay. I've got a few Christmassy things to do. I'm in a completely different place in comparison to where I was 15 years ago. 15 years ago, blimey, I was 14, making films. I still, I still am, but with audios. And I was making stuff with my dad and sister. I was making a film where we had to cover. My sister was playing the Master, but the crispy Master from Doctor Who. So we were making this kind of ketchup mayonnaise goo thing to kind of pull over her face, and she didn't like it very much. But that's like the earliest point in this vlog. And it's such a weird one. And it's not even technically in 2010. It's technically November 2009. But we go all the way back from there. Before my GCSEs, before all of that. Crazy times. You see, this monthly vlog also means something completely different for me. It's not just an end of an era for the vlogging, but it's the end of an era in my life. Because realistically, I started vlogging, really monthly vlogging. I was inspired by a YouTuber called Sammy Paul, a British YouTuber. He did a bit of vlogging, but he's mainly a filmmaker. He did a monthly vlog in 2014, monthly. And then he handed it over to an Irish filmmaker called Hazel Hayes, who also did monthly vlogging in 2015. And I was inspired by Sammy Paul to also do this as well. Originally, it was only going to be the year. It was only meant to be the year. But what really drove me to keep doing this was the fact that my whole life had fallen apart around that time. So I found myself in January 2015 starting this project. It was originally going to be one video at the end of the 2015 year of everything I was doing as one big vlog. And I started it off in my childhood bedroom.
Hello everyone, it is me. Today is January the 8th, 2015, and I'm going to be making a project all year called 2015. Essentially, this project is going to be me filming a clip on this camera every single day until December the 31st of this year.
And that's where it all went wrong, mainly. That clip got filmed, and then 2 days later, homeless. I lived in a tiny, tiny room. In fact, this bedroom is probably triple the size of what I was living in at the time. I would literally put up my camera because I wasn't recording it on my phone. I hadn't figured that part out yet. I was filming it on my DSLR, propping it up on top of the computer unit, and then the lens would get foggy, and the amount of condensation that I had on that lens made the lens crack. And then I started filming on my phone. You know, it's like I finally got the hint. Yeah, I just filmed what I was up to. I filmed anything and everything. I just wanted to escape from my poor mental health. I didn't feel like filmmaking anymore. I didn't have the inspiration to move forward. I had nothing. I was just meeting up with friends and hanging out. I wasn't even doing uni anymore. I was at second year of uni, but I almost failed. I really fell apart. I just had nothing. I had my friends, but they were working or studying, and I just wasn't. My dad and stepmom lived up in Liverpool, so I would go up and travel. They would pay to get the tickets and everything, and I'd go out there because I had nothing to my name. And I would go up and stay with them for a little while, and then for like a long weekend. Then I'd travel back down and stay in the hell I was in. I was begging for money every day from my dad. I just had all sense of self-preservation and dignity fell apart, and it was really not great. It wasn't until May of that year that I was able to finally move out. My stepmom drove down and got me, and my friend Donal as well. My friend Donal had come down from Hertfordshire to help me out, and then we'd driven up to Liverpool together. My dad, this was my 20th birthday, they had bought me a camera, a Sony A7S, and we went out and tested it, and it was lovely. It was a lovely thing for me and Donal to go out and film, and it was a low light camera as well. So we'd gone out and it was pitch black, and I just, you can adjust the ISO, the f-stops on the camera and the ISO to adjust for the lighting, and we got some amazing shots. Donal was the person who was standing on the camera for me, and I was obviously on camera. It was great. I still have so many fond memories of that. But yeah, I went up and stayed there, and then we'd travel down because we only had 2 days a week at uni. So I'd travel back down and then travel over to uni for 2 days a week, then come back up again. If it wasn't for my dad and my stepmom, I don't know where I'd be now. 2015 proved to be a year that was really a lot of me being picked up and dragged over the finish line. I ended up finishing the year feeling content. I wasn't happy, don't get me wrong, I wasn't happy, but I felt content. I felt somewhat okay. And then we went into 2016. I am recording for the Overton All News podcast. Daniel, you said you had something to say.
Yes, because I had not appeared in the 2024 vlogs, and because it's ending soon, I had to get one more appearance in the vlog series before it ends. So this is my obligatory appearance in the vlogs before the end.
Oh dear, oh dear.
No, it's not.
Well, they've just left from up there, haven't they? So what have they done? Left the hose running or what? What do you think?
I don't know.
Overton Audios presents
There's a part of me that's really grown to love this mental team of ours. There's a part of me that hopes one day they'll allow me to stop before this goes to a point of no return. But maybe that day has already passed.
But she's actually quite pretty looking. Why would she say yes to you?
You're acting fucking weird.
I always act weird.
We're going to have a lot of fun, Tommy Benton.
It's the Cybermen.
You're welcome with us.
You're never going to take over Torchwood.
We're already dead.
Who was that?
The Queen. She's assigned us with a special task of locating 4 politicians who are absent from Parliament this morning.
Fraser! Fucking hell!
You have done excellently, my son.
Now what?
Before anything happens, I want to know why you did it.
All I have to say is I'm truly sorry for whatever happens next.
Torchwood, Clandestine, Part 2. Coming 14th of December, 2024 at 12 p.m.
Wonderful! How simply divine!
Hello and welcome to the Overton Audios podcast. My name's Connor Chadwick.
I'm Daniel Patton.
By the time this comes out, the monthly vlog would have been over for a week.
It's weird teleport. You have to mentally teleport yourself now to that time.
I can't. It's weird. The monthly vlog's always been there. What do I do without it? Help me. I've been doing the monthly vlog for so long. I will sometimes, I know for the next couple of months, I'll be pausing to think, maybe I'll film a clip of this and go, why?
You try and get yourself out of that habit of doing it.
Yeah. I was thinking about doing that 1 second every day thing, you know, that I've done a couple of times.
That'd be nice.
The 1 second every day is easy because it's not vlogging. It's just filming one clip per day.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's manageable. That might be nice to do.
Will Chatters do it 1 second every day? Only time will see that. Well, I can't speak anymore. Only time will figure it out.
Only time will feel. Only time will see. You mean
only time will see? Yes.
Yes. What about telling, Daniel? Will time tell?
Only time will tell. Yes, that's what it was. Thank you. That is now forever documented on this bloody.
Christmas tree is up. Here it is. And I've been doing some audio editing, finally, after so long. It's nice to get some editing in again. I'm getting back used to it again. I'm having still a bit of a block, but I'm about halfway through the edit at the moment for the first audio drama of the backlog I've created for myself, which was intentional. But I also thought about the monthly vlog and thought to myself, I haven't filmed any more of that little yearly roundup. Considering I'm meant to be doing a little talk about each year, I haven't actually done that, so maybe we should. Let's see how long this stays stood up for. So yeah, hello, welcome to 2016. That feels weird saying that. So, 2016, eh? Well. 2016. There's not a lot I can really say about this year. I spent a lot of my time focusing on university. University was something that I'd really flopped in 2015. As mentioned, 2015 was one of the worst years of my life, and as a result, I also ruined everything in my path. The only thing I knew how to make was really make films, and that's what I did throughout a lot of 2015. I did shoot between the week between Christmas Day and New Year's Day. I shot my final major project for university. Uni was over in May, so I shot it all at Christmas so I could have a good 4 or 5 months to edit. And also, a friend of mine at uni had also shot his film in the summer prior to starting our third and final year, so that he could work backwards on the paperwork, so he wasn't stuck with any changes or anything like that, which in all fairness, I kind of just followed. I shot that film, it was called Switched Off, starring Jack Snelling and Chris Walker-Thompson. It still holds a very special place in my heart. I'm aiming to remake it maybe at some point or another. But yeah, 2016 was, the first half of the year was made up of very much just education. Lots and lots of education. I was told by my dad, if I'd worked really hard, I could have the summer off. Not have to worry about a job or anything like that. Just focus on what I want to do for the summer, which I did. In August, I think, yeah, end of July into August, I met Daniel J. Patton for the first time. We'd spoken briefly in 2014 and he'd appeared in one of my fan films that was no longer online. Well, actually, it is online. I remastered it during lockdown. But nonetheless, the original is no longer there. And we'd crossed paths a little bit because of that, but now we'd actually met. And he stayed at home for about 2 weeks and we shot Time Traveller Season 3. We also had PMG, Peter M. George, come down for a few weeks, and that was also very, very fun. I was starting to feel better. I was starting to feel a lot better about myself. I felt very content at the end of 2015, and then after finishing university, I'm not going to lie, I didn't really have many friends leaving uni. I'd made friends at uni, but over the course of the final year, I don't think people really understood what I was trying to do with university. Everyone had been able to go through second year without the struggles that I'd had, and I nearly flopped. So I had to make sure that with my third year it was the best it was ever going to be. I went and everything with regards to my coursework was formatted a certain way. I went and had it ring bound and printed off in this beautiful paper. And I was constantly being told, why are you bothering? Why bother? Why bother? Because everyone else was submitting them in A4s, in plastic sleeves and plastic folders and just written in Word. And I was trying to create a presentation behind it. It was something that my dad had encouraged. My dad was a university lecturer and he had said that presentation, you're marked on presentation as well. As it transpires at this university, you're not. You're not marked on that at all. They don't care. Nonetheless, I've got it. I've still got it. During the summer of that year, I drove. I drove. Like, I still can't drive now. I'm 30 in what, 4 months? I still can't drive. So, I do need to. But nonetheless, anyway, that's enough of the present day reflection. We drove down to my university and collected all of it, which they were about to throw out, I found out. They don't keep them, really. So I got it all. They asked me why I wanted it. I said it's part of a portfolio I could have. And they all really frowned at me. This is the tutors, not the students. I don't think anyone really understood what I was trying to do. Ultimately, I've got it still to this day. I've kept it safe. I've never thrown it out and never will. I'm still so proud of that project. But I left uni with my head held high. A lot of people left uni and I've never heard anything they've done again, really. There are some people I hear about. It's very people I was close to at uni who've gone off and done their own thing, still within the realm of filmmaking or videography, but there are some who, the majority, just didn't. And yeah, I was able to translate my skills into the job I have now. I really tried in 2016, especially in the latter part, September, October, November. I really tried to sort of push myself. Well, I was trying to make more films over the summer again, really trying to push myself to kind of get out there more. And I was meeting people and I had met people who were in the industry, but that's not enough to open a door for you. In December 2016, I started in the job that I have now. I was 3rd of December 2016, I started in this job, this construction job. I was just a little site assistant, and I got thrown off site and permanently banned, I think, or not permanently, but pretty much banned until further notice, because you're meant to take an exam. I wasn't allowed back on site until I'd proven I'd done it. And that was the end of the year, admittedly. That was the end of the year. But nonetheless, that takes us into 2017, that part, so we'll talk about that in a bit, I'm sure. In the summer, I did a lot of short courses, a lot of them, and it kept me busy. It gave me something to do weekly. I went to the university, I think we did University of Birkbeck film studies. We were able to go to the BFI near Tottenham Court Road, and we got to sit in a cinema, little screening room, and we got to watch films and analyse them. Oh God, I'd love that. I'd love to go back and do it all over again. I also had a date there. First time I ever tried, no, was it the first time? Yes, it was the first time I'd ever tried Five Guys. And I had that there with this girl who I quite liked. She quite liked me, I thought. And then she just started being racist. So that's not good. I promptly ended that date, and because she was the only person I spoke to in that course, really. Everyone was really quiet, kept to themselves. It was an evening class. And I promptly never really got to properly speak to her again. She just moved to the other side of the class, and I just carried on as I was, and I was like, all right, great. So it's just me then, brilliant. What was also really frustrating was I decided to do something similar to what I did at university with that short course, and I had to write little essays, but I made them visual and put photos into them to really illustrate what I was talking about. I got told off for doing that, and I thought, I don't get this world, and I still don't to this day, where you get punished for innovation. Like, if we're talking about film and you don't have visuals in it, I don't understand that. Sorry, I know I'm getting quite passionate there, but like, if I'm going to describe to you the North by Northwest plane scene, shot by shot, and I have no shots or visuals shown at all to illustrate my points, only written text, that's not a film course in my eyes. It's a visual thing. Film is visual, and you're asking me to write about it? Number one, I'm not a journalist. Number two, I'm not a novelist. I like films. I can write about things, but photos will tell will speak 1,000 words. And I never understood that. Also, this short course at Central St. Martin's, 5-day course. No paperwork, but we got to work with cinema cameras. We got to make a short film. I will say though, I was definitely out of my, I don't want to say out of my depth, but I didn't gel with anyone there either. There were so many people from everywhere. It was great. There were some people who'd flown over from America for that short course. Some people who were traveling over from France. Because obviously the Eurostar is at King's Cross, which is exactly where this Central St. Martin's place is. I was meeting quite a few people from all over the world, and that was great. And that was on photography as well as cinematography, and that was a really great 5 days I was doing. I was really enjoying it. We went on a couple of places, looked at some nice film cafes. It was just really nice. I had a really nice sort of time in 2016 of kind of opening my eyes a little bit more to what I was really interested in, and being able to sort of like using 2015 as a way to reintroduce myself again. 2016 was my way of trying to do all these short courses to build up my CV as an interested in film. As we know, like from where I am right now, I didn't quite do it, did I? So I think that sends us on to 2017, I think. 2017. Where 2017 ended for me, in comparison to how I'd ended in 2016, I was in a much different place as well. I was working. I'd made 2 full series of Waterside at that point. Waterside, for those who don't know, is a full web series fully funded by just me. I think that was about 5 or 6 grand I'd spent that year on that series. To this day, I still don't know what I was thinking with that. 6 grand, only for those 2 series. I think in total, across series 2 to 5, I spent 15 grand. At the time, I was only making 800 a month. So, God knows where I got that money, honestly. But we're getting to that. Waterside, still a couple of years out from finishing. But nonetheless, 2017 started out with me still having to do that revision for that test I had to do for the health and safety stuff for working on site after I got kicked off just the December before. I was still doing my short course at the University of Birkbeck. That finished in March, and I had a lot of fun with it. I did in the end. I know I kind of moaned a bit about certain elements of it. But yeah, I finished that short course in March. I continued my job at the construction industry, and I became from a site assistant to a site monitor, and I started working on this site in King's Cross, and I was there pretty much 5 days a week, unless they called and said otherwise. So there were some days where I wasn't at work, but my God, I had a lot of energy. Maybe I'm just an old man now, but back then I was, I'd be filming on Saturdays and Sundays and going out and going off to do that, and then film and then working during the week, and I don't know how I wasn't shattered. I I just kept pushing on and pushing on and pushing on. I think over the years, maybe I've just been kind of become a lot more grumblier. Maybe I've got a lot less patience now. Whereas back then I could have done all that and I could have lived with it and gone, well, you know, it is what it is and stuff like that. Whereas now I get really angry and I sit there and just kind of sit in my anger for a little bit. I don't know why, it's stupid really. Yeah, so we started filming Waterside season 2 in February 2017. It was just me and PMG. I had inherited this series from my old friend Alan Rafferty. He'd made season 1 back in 2013, 2014, and I really wanted to continue this series. I'd got some of the original cast on board, and some others were not interested. It was just down to their previous experiences on it. I was never there for it, so I cannot comment. But nonetheless, we filmed the prequel with just myself and PMG. I was filming, he was on camera, as we filmed that for season 2. And then from there we began filming every 3 weeks or so. And that was okay, that was a lot more manageable. And we wrapped filming on season 2 in July in the end, because we were recording every other weekend. Season 3 changed a lot, and that's, I think, where it broke me. Series 3 we started filming from October to December, and that was a longer series with more characters in and cost us more. Meanwhile, Waterside Season 2 cost something like £2,700. Waterside Season 3 was £3,500, and that was down to the fact that I wanted to make Waterside, and I wanted to ensure people stuck around, and I thought, this is a good opportunity as well for me to learn about how to manage finances. And I won't lie, in the long run, it certainly is maybe more cost efficient, but I'm still not great at managing my finances now. I'm still very, very awful at it. I wish I wasn't, I wish I could be better, but hey ho. That was the whole reason behind that. As a result, it's the last major scale thing I've ever made. You'll see that since Waterside I've filmed quite a few things, but they've not been to that scale anymore with that much involvement, you know. It's been mainly stuff, like a couple of things a year maybe, made within a friendship group, which has sometimes been the easier option, or asking a lot of favours, but Waterside was basically my farewell to major full-time filmmaking, I think. Overall, over the course of those few years I was making it, like, it was something that I very much felt was a farewell to doing that so full-on and full-time, which is the case. But nonetheless, I had so much fun making it. I met so many new people. Got to work with Kate Lassman again, who played Joanna Brooks, Adele Jane Harris, who played Ruby Newton, who's gone on to play many characters in audios now that I'm making, because we started making audios in the following year. But nonetheless, I had a quite good year for 2017. It feels like I've commented less on that year. It was just a smoother year. There was just a lot of filming. I've got fun little clips and stories from it. 2018 again is where it kind of got interesting. So I think we'll lead with that. ...2018 was an interesting one. Now, I did mention this in last year's 2017's little talk, because it hadn't really presented itself properly, but since about June 2017 until February 2018 we were working on a project called Shimmer. It was made by Steve Evendon, starring Mimi Rose. I was filming it, and we had a number of different crew. It was, you know, PMG or Ollie Alexander. There were a number of other actors as well we worked with, and it was a really fun few months that we were filming that for, filming like these little shorts. I don't know what's happened with that, and I've never entirely spoken openly about that project before, because I don't know how to word it, but there were definitely disagreements. There were definitely disagreements that happened, and I don't really still understand it. I'd done an edit, and like a rough cut, and we kept waiting to hear more from Steve. then he said, oh, I want to refilm it, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I said, okay, well, let's give that a go. And we did, and then we did nothing again, and then we'd asked to refilm it again. And it kept going back and forth, and I just said to him, you can't, like, you're not paying anyone. Like, for me, my issue is that we were going back and forth and changing the idea, and that were ideas for stuff where we'd already filmed, but nobody was getting paid for doing it. Like, sure, he'd drive all the way up and pick me up, which I was always appreciative of, but the actors were getting a bit rowdy and talking to me about it. They didn't quite know how to word it to Steve. But they weren't really up for coming back to film again, of which at that point, it would then get changed again, and we'd have to refilm it, but without that actor, which means now they don't have footage, which means that, you know, what they filmed originally is now no longer something they're going to receive because they're not in it anymore. And I just didn't like it. It wasn't fair for people who travelled over, the people that travelled from up north, in good faith of the people involved. Not necessarily the director and creator of it, but like people I knew, people PMG knew, and they were now no longer going to be in the project because they wouldn't show up for the reshoots, even though they weren't informed that they were going to be in the first place. It was all very much changed last minute. Ultimately, we wrapped in February 2018, and nothing more got shot. I kept being asked to go back and shoot, but I kept being very doubtful. I'd met up for a couple of meetings about Volume 2 and when that was going to start filming. But we hadn't finished Volume 1. It ended up, in the new year, 2019, I ended up finishing my own final cut and sending it to all the actors after they've been waiting a year to a year and a half of show reel footage because they're not getting paid. And that was me wiping my hands of the project. I wanted to mention Shimmer because I am so proud of what we did on Shimmer. I really am. I don't know what has happened with it. I looked at the website that was made. There's nothing on it about this project. The project just seems to have disappeared. I don't know if there are any plans for it. I have reached out. I've not heard anything back. It's all just sort of gone. And it's been nearly 6 years since we shot anything for it, since I was involved anyway, and I've heard nothing. The actors all have their footage. I've shown bits and pieces in this vlog, but I want people to see the final thing. But at the same time, as said by PMG, it's not my call. It's not my call to make. And that's what's been proving difficult because I don't know what they're doing with it. They could have completely changed it and the version that we've got isn't the version anymore, or they've decided to rehash the idea. I don't know what they've planned, and that's what's really bugging me, is that we've got a project which we put a lot of time into finishing, and it never got, and it never did finish. But apart from that, because I've talked a lot about that, but that's because I've always been meaning to, for like literally the last 6 years, it's not something I've thought about often, but last 6 years I haven't really spoken about Shimmer. So this is me talking about it as we end the vlog, which is odd. But nonetheless, 2018 was an interesting year as well. I got back in contact with people. We started filming Waterside Season 4 in May 2018 and finished in August. That was a lot better financially for me. It didn't break me so much. We kept the cast a little bit more secure and we were a lot more sort of thoughtful about our time. It was just a lot better managed. There were a lot of arguments, don't get me wrong. There were a lot of arguments because we had people who I've made films with before, back in the day, who were giving opinions to me. But there was this kind of weird hierarchy that was being brought up. I say weird. Realistically, we had producers and we had people who would watch it and give opinions on the edit and give notes about what to change and what needs tweaking. Whereas this person wasn't involved in that, and people felt like they were being kind of overridden by the person who wasn't involved, and it was all very messy, and that would caused a very messy summer. But the summer is also when technically Overton Audio's really kicked off. Because what happened was, we'd made a 50th? Yeah, 53rd anniversary special in November 2016. And then we've made a couple of episodes. I think we roundabout made 4, 5. I think it might have been 4. 4 episodes, 4 audio episodes over the course between November 2016 to May 2018. And at that point in May 2018, I said, right, let's speed run episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8 and get series 1 done. Because at that point, I knew I was joining the DW 2012 universe and I wanted to set this all up. So we got series 1 done, and then August 2018 is when I started writing season 2. And at that time I was working at Broadmoor Mental Hospital. Now, for those of you who are aware of what Broadmoor is, well, certainly now by the title of it, by me saying I was working on it, what I mean is I was working on the new redevelopment next door to the original. So there was a new sets of wards, new hospital being built directly next door to the original building. And I was working on that, and I was having to travel down and stay in Berkshire quite often. As a result, 5 days a week I wasn't at home. I was in a flexi-lets apartment, and that's where I found myself with a lot of time to write. So I ended up writing like a year's worth of content in advance. It was a bit crazy. So I ended up writing like Cravat Doctor Season 2, Season 3, Veritas Volume 1, Volume 2, General Marsh Volume 1, Volume 2, just all of these projects at once. It was very, very crazy, but we got it done. Not that it was incredibly well done. There was still lots I had to learn about audio editing, but it was a start, and it certainly was a start. Yeah, and I started with season 2 at the end of 2018, then 2019, all the other projects I mentioned followed. A lot of stresses brought up for me. I can't remember if it was the beginning of 2018 or the beginning of 2019 where I had a breakdown. Which I suppose is good, because I just had a quick look through the vlogs and I can't figure out where it's been mentioned. I'm assuming it was the beginning of 2019 because I believe that's where we were still working on Broadmoor. That answers the question very, very much. The breakdown was at the beginning of 2018. Oh dearie me. Yeah, so basically I must have had the breakdown at the beginning of 2018. We're in the middle of trying to film another film called Against Time, which was being shot with myself and Nick Miles, who had made a previous one we'd made in 2017 called Hunted. We're making a new one called Against Time, and it was going really, really well for us. And then my dad and my stepmom were down working at Broadmoor and needed me there really last minute. And I was the only one in the house looking after the cats and working from home. And then I got told to be there the next day for 3 days. And I said, well, what about the cats? And they went, oh, they'll live, just put down a load of food for them and leave them for 3 days, it'll be fine. I just couldn't. I don't know why that broke me, but it did. It didn't break me as bad as some of the other ones that I'll be talking about later, but yeah. I don't know why, but nonetheless. Anyway, I've kind of gone backwards and forwards a bit there. But yeah, beginning of 2018 I had a big breakdown. Not fun. Anyway, indeed, I will speak to you later, and I'll see you in the next one, I'm sure. Farewell. One try.
You having fun?
I don't know, I haven't done the gelato to the cone yet. To analyse it. Pathetic.
Good job, Paula. Paula is the best at pictures and stuff.
How was your meal, Abatha?
Fulfilling.
Did it eat and leave no crumbs? For real?
It was goated.
Goated. Was your meal goated?
My skippity slices was amazing. Come over to Sigma Meals today.
Abatha, are you ready to skibbity sigma?
Stop! I suggest a tactical retreat.
Yes, a tactical retreat.
Yes, us Skibbity Sigmas will be back.
No cap. No cap.
No cap, bro. We're gonna Skibbity slice her to dust at Sigma meals.
What the hell are you saying?
You're right.
No.
Do you understand what's being said?
No. No, eat your ice cream.
Oh no, it's L's for Abatha in the trap. Apologies for not vlogging enough. I've just said goodbye to Abby and Noah at the train station, and yeah, that'll be the last time I think they'll ever appear in this vlog. So, as a quick update, because I haven't actually vlogged that much this month, which has been really weird considering it's the last one. I had COVID. Really bad COVID. Which is why I'm so out of breath right now. It's because for about 6 days, it kicked me down. I slept for like 16 hours a day. And I never do that, I never sleep. And yeah, it was really bad. It was really, really bad. So as a result, I didn't get a lot of work done. Then I suddenly had a lot of work to do. And that's why I haven't been about. Like typical, in the final one I get, you know, COVID. This is the other thing too. We're only like 2 or 3 days out from Christmas. So as a result, things are coming to an end quite quickly. I've got this horrible cold which has survived after COVID. I've got into editing again, which has been nice. I spent the last month and a half stuck on writer's block. I made a kind of promise to myself I'd get this stuff written, but alas, I wasn't able to do it in the end, sadly. So I've now been able to catch up editing those, so I'm leaving it so last minute right now. It is so last minute. I don't think I've ever felt myself walking to my apartment before, but alas, here I am. Hello. There we go. Lovely. Oh, but yeah. Darkness, welcome. But yeah, so I've started doing some editing. It's of the Glimpses of Gallifrey project that was written by Michael Cox. He wrote it back in September, and we just, I think I've spoken about this before, but just in case I haven't, he wrote it back in September. It was due for original release in the 8th of January. But sadly, I just can't make that, even though I'm doing the edit now. But you can tell how last minute it is, because, you know, I like to get edits in a few months in advance. I was supposed to announce this originally on the 17th of December, and I haven't. Even though we've announced it in the podcast, the actual cover art was supposed to be announced. Then it was supposed to be announced on the 20th. And it hasn't been. And I'm supposed to now announce it on tomorrow, which is why I want to get the edit done, because I like announcing things when things are done, which is understandable. After that, I've got something for February to edit and something for March to edit, and then there we go. Sorted. But yeah. For now, we've got Christmas in a few days. Tomorrow, there's a little company Christmas get-together thing. And then there's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and then I've got the final week of this vlog, which is an odd one. I've still got to record some bits for it, actually. As you'll know, I've been kind of reviewing the years and everything like that. And I think I'm up to 2018 so far, I want to say. So I've still got the remaining 5 years to do. So I've done, yeah, around 5 or 6 years. So I've got to sit down and talk about them soon. And then edit it. Which of course I'm trying to do that around loads of other editing. which of course when planning it, I didn't consider the monthly vlog. Do you know what's really annoying as well? It doesn't look like I've only got that patch. I've actually got hair all over. But it's invisible, it's bright blonde, so I just look like I've got a weird patchy underbeard. I mean, that's annoying. So, yeah. Anyway, I'll see you later. Possibly to talk about another year. Yeah, see you in a bit. Overton Audios presents.
I hold on hope that Holmes is still alive, that he is walking amongst the smoke-filled alleys of London, waiting. Waiting for what? That only Sherlock Holmes would know. Mrs. Hudson?
Hello, John.
What are you doing here?
So, have you heard about the missing officers from the London Metropolitan?
Yes, I heard from the Strad. Someone is picking up officers off the streets.
Do you feel that?
I feel what seems to be a service revolver on my back.
Very smart, Dr. Watson. Clearly you're a man who knows their weapons. So, you know I can shoot you dead before anyone can come to your aid. This is but a prelude to the carnage that awaits the rest of the world.
Sherlock Holmes will be remembered as the greatest detective that London, I dare say, the world has ever seen. Holmes.
Hello, old friend.
We lost you, Holmes. I lost you. We mourned for you.
Sherlock Holmes, The Empty Hearse. Coming the 25th of December 2024 at 12 PM. Oh guys, it's after Christmas now. This timing has really not worked for me. I've had a good few days away. Good, nice little relax. But, oh, God, I still haven't recorded for the 2019, 2020, 21, 22, or 23 little review I was meant to be doing. Oh, this has completely fallen apart, and I've not got long left until this is out and gone forever. I ramble a lot when I sit down, so I'm going to pace for these next few years or so, as in me talking about them for a limited amount of time, because it's only 4 days until the end of the year, and thus this vlog. I've had Christmas. I do not know why the Christmas decorations are not on, which now they are. So yeah, so I've only really been back for the last hour or two. I've just been a little bit busy, trying to sort of relax a bit, detox. I had a very nice Christmas. And yeah, I'm going to talk to you about, it was quite a quiet one. I was thinking about vlogging it and I just thought, no. That's a simple version. I just thought, with me doing so much already for this year, having Christmas to myself with my dad and stepmom was just really nice. I watched a few films as well. Films that I wasn't really intending on, like I hadn't watched. I was going to. I watched. What did we watch? We watched a lot. We watched the film Megalopolis, Joker 2. Oh God. Oh, so we watched 28 Days Later, Joker 2, Megalopolis. I've obviously watched the Doctor Who Christmas special. I loved the new Wallace and Gromit. I adored it. We watched Red 1. And then we've watched a lot of Making of a Serial Killer. That's not exactly Christmassy, but it's what we've been doing. So yeah, it was fun, very fun. On to 2019. 2019 kind of continued on with the 2018 theme. We filmed Waterside Season 5 in 2019. I think we shot it between May and July of 2019, I want to say. Much shorter season, episodes still staying the same length as well, just bigger in terms of story. What we did, 2019 was very much the year that I socialised a lot more. It was definitely my year of socialisation, which is annoying considering what happened the following year, but nonetheless, I was just getting started on the Overton audio stuff, you know, really getting started. I found a nice balance between work and that, which of course I've not found since. It's been very annoying. And yeah, I've just been keeping busy. Filming Watersides, the final season was fun. We had lots of stuff going on, but it was very much an interesting farewell. I remember times where I've had, like, you know, I had my 24th, and I had a lot of birthday get-togethers. I was going out having a lot more drinks, having a lot more friend times, and I was able to balance that all around everything else. I also met with some friends for the first time. Like, I met Hugo and Stevens at the end of that year. We filmed a new Fragments type style thing. What we also did was, well, I didn't meet in person, but I met online John N. Harper, who proceeded to be one of the first people I got involved in audio production. I met him 2018, but it was really in 2019 where our friendship very much blossomed. So much has happened. Like, notice how I can really abbreviate things when I'm stood up. When I'm sat down, it doesn't work. It really doesn't work. But no, so in March 2019, we also finished on the Broadmoor project, because I've mentioned that I've been staying down in Berkshire a lot for this job that we had in Broadmoor Mental Hospital. It was next door to the original. They were building a new one. We'd finished that. I also met quite a few more new people at a filming for Waterside, which was great. I might have to sit down. This is becoming non-coherent. I also shot my first live-action short film for Doctor Who I had done in years. We shot an episode of Fragmented Timeline. It was called Fragmented. Did I just say it wrong? Oh my god, I must be tired. We made an episode of Fractured Timeline. It was called The Candidate. It was, I thought, very good. I was quite chuffed with it. And yeah, that was nice to film that. It was a nice and simple few days, really. We also had Alan Rafferty's wedding. He got married to his lovely wife, Alyssa. I think that might be the last time I saw him now. It's been so long since. We also started filming a short film called Against Time, and that one was really interesting. I find it really interesting because I consider it a COVID film. Now, obviously, it was started before COVID, but as we'll go into, it was filming from October 2019 until April 2020. August 2020, of which I will talk about that probably a bit later, but COVID's the interesting one, which we'll talk about later. But no, 2019 was kind of a smooth year. It was much simpler than the previous years. It was just filming, socialising, and yeah, that's it. There's nothing really else to mention. I travelled around a lot. I met up with a few more friends. I still have money issues, don't get me wrong. But like, I had a lot of fun. And that's the point, really. It was just more of the same, which is not really a criticism. It was good to have that consistency. So, thus, we move on to 2020. What an interesting one. From here, things get a little bit more interesting, shall we say. Yeah, so 2020. 2020 was COVID year, as we know. It started out quite interestingly. It actually started out, I'd been talking to someone around Christmas 2019. We met on Tinder and we were chatting about that and trying to see if we were compatible. She was a nurse, so you can see where this conversation's going. And we were talking quite, we met up, we met up for Valentine's Day and it was nice and everything like that. I had a date in Five Guys, wasn't really the best. It's because we'd left it so late to organise anything. But no, I started off the new decade with fresh prospects. Well, we know what followed up. It's weird looking back on January and February 2020, because when I look back on it, there were lots of things that I'm looking back on it as we speak, actually. And when I look back on it now and I look at some of the footage of me talking about projects, being on Skype, or before there was Zoom, but Skype with friends and everything like that, before all of that, I can't, there's no at all signal where I've mentioned anything or anything about an impending lockdown or a virus or anything like that. It just feels like it happens overnight. I then go over to March. We have the trailers for Supers and everything. I'm just having to flick through it, and it immediately just cuts to us driving to our nearest shop in the middle of the night, because all of the shops were getting emptied because of this impending lockdown. It just sort of switched. It just sort of happened. It happened around my dad's 53rd birthday, because his birthday's on the 23rd of March. I believe our UK lockdown was on the 24th. So we'd had his birthday thing and then literally got locked down. It was really crazy. I started to go into work because they hadn't shut down construction sites because they were still classed as essential work. So we were still going to site and having to work. And what was crazy was there were the amount of people who were still at Liverpool Street. Seeing everything get so quiet was really strange. It was a really strange thing. The world had just changed so quickly. And I still don't know what to make of all of it. It's still such a strange element that happened. And obviously, I talk about that like it's nearly half a decade on. And as this cough tells you, I only just had the worst COVID I've ever had. So it's still very prevalent to this day. It's just that things are a lot easier to manage. And yeah, what also happened this year was I bought this apartment that I'm sat in. I got this apartment. It involved 3 to 4 months of me removing 99% of my salary and not being able to spend anything, which I was lucky because I lived with parents. I was able to do that. They understood what I was doing and were very gracious about it. But as a result, I lost 3 stone. I got very skinny, which is probably the healthiest I've been. I wish I could get back to that, if I'm honest. The moment I started eating normally again, and then I started to eat a little bit. Like, I think it's obvious what's happened. But nonetheless, I still kept busy. Waterside Season 5 had come out in January 2020. So Waterside had been over forever already, like months before lockdown even happened. It was a strange one. But yeah, we also filmed, and this is what I was talking about earlier on the 2019 segment, we shot a film called Tonight. In that film, we started filming it October 2019, and we finished it, I want to say, August 2020. What was really fascinating and what was really fun about all of that, I think it was August 2020 that we finished filming it. No, maybe it was July. Okay, memory is not so great nowadays. What was really great about that was when we shot it, there were some scenes, for example, there's a scene where Chris Walker-Thompson's character is walking to an ATM. That was all shot October 2019. There were then some shots of, which we'd added in later, of the other character who's with him walking over to a railing and stood watching him at the ATM, and we get over shoulder shots looking at Chris and that and everything. That is July 2020. And what we were really lucky because they hadn't removed the little fairy lights from the trees or anything like that in the high street that we were filming in. So as a result, it still looked like winter weather. It still looked like it could be winter. Chris was still dressed as if it were winter. But if you look really closely, you can see people walking around in shorts and t-shirts. It's really funny. But no, I was really happy with what we did there. And I find it really fascinating to look at the power of a film edit that way, you know, because you would never know unless I've gone on about it enough. But no, it was really fun. 2020 ended with me having an apartment and kind of being in my own space, figuring out what I'm doing. Yeah, It involved me living in an empty apartment for quite a while, but I was happy, and I still am happy with the apartment. It's survived well. I'm surprised it's lasted as long as it has with me so far. But yeah, no, it's all good. And yeah, all that had changed was the way that the world worked, really. Yeah. And that brings us on to 2021. Ironically, 2021 started with another lockdown. Good old Boris. So he started off with another lockdown. I just carried on the year as I was. I was still having to go to site and everything despite these lockdowns. It was just a lot quieter again. 2021 was almost like a response to 2020 in terms of COVID and the world. Everything kind of paused for about 2 years, really. Nothing really wanted to get started again. They never wanted to be the first person. And by the end of 2021, I think we're in a good position that, you know, things were kind of opening again and getting back to normal. I think there was some bleed through into 2020, but very rare. We then move on to some of the bad stuff, sadly. 2021 is where I kind of can say that from now on, there was something bad that happened each year from now on. I think this year, off the top of my head, this year has just been a continuation of a bad thing from 2023, but we'll get into that. 2021, I fell out with a friend of mine. I've never spoken about it, because it was a very private thing and it escalated into much more. And I'm still not going to go into the details now because I haven't spoken to that person to ask them if they wish it to be talked about. But no, I fell out with someone and they were a very old friend of mine. I'd known them for years. It's one of those things where it's kind of, we've moved on enough now that I'm not saying all sad about it. It is something I regret. I'm very regretful of everything that had happened, or the situations that led to that moment. There were some things that were just out of my control. I can't control every element of my life, sadly. Things will just happen, and I have to sort of like work out how I deal with that, if you know what I mean. No, that caused a little bit of a stress that year. I had a lot of fun times that year, but no, this one was a very strange one. It resulted in a lot of me being stupid and anxious and everything like that, and it's just very silly. But I am regretful that even went to that point. But I don't talk. I think it goes without saying that, you know, I don't talk to the person anymore. Yeah. It wasn't all doom or gloom that year. There were good things. This was also the year that a lot of the people you see or hear about in my vlogs now were kind of introduced into my life. So like people like James Sutton, for example, or Eamon Longman, or Aidan O'Connor. All those people were kind of introduced into my life around this sort of time. Around this, I think it was the summer of 2021. Dan had been doing some filming for the first episode of the second series of Fractured Timeline, which starred Aidan O'Connor. And I'd known about Aidan for a little while anyway. I'd known of him for years, really. He'd been commenting on my stuff and everything, but I'd never spoken to him, and that was when I first spoke to him. Same with Eamon as well. Eamon messaged me asking me if he could write something for Overton Audios, and I was I'm more than happy. When people put forward saying, can I write? I'm like, go for it. You know, like I'd rather have as much collaboration as possible. I don't get as many requests for that anymore, but if people were to ask, I'm always wanting to. And of course with Sutton, me and James Sutton got in contact because of Torchwood Rebirth and because of its connection to DW 2012. Sadly, it was around towards the end of 2021 where the cracks in the union, you could say, between Overton Audios and DW 2012 started to show. But overall, it was still a good year. It was still a good year at heart. There were, I think, I think that 2021, especially with everything that's going on in my life at that point, that was the year that I started to become a little bit more cynical about things, sadly, and a bit more tired and burnt out, and that's not fun. I don't think, that's a good thing. Not that, anyone should do anyway, you know what I mean, but I've tried to be less cynical about things recently, and it's not really worked out for me. Anyway, let's move on to 2022. 2022 is a nice also mixture as well. I had a concurrent argument with DW 2012 for months. We were arguing. It just resulted in me in the summer leaving. That was, I just want to get through that quick because I'm aware that I kind of reflected on some bad stuff in 2021. 2022's bad thing of the year was that. But luckily it never escalated beyond that argument about creative differences on DW 2012. And I get it, because I look back on it and I kept thinking to myself, no, I want to make what I want to make, you can't restrict me. But upon further reflection now, I still agree that, you shouldn't tell people what to do. There should be some compromises on things. But I'm trying not to cough, by the way, because I think my cough, the more I'm talking, the worse my cough is getting. Anyway, as I was saying, the more I've reflected on it, the more I've kind of realised that if I didn't like it, I should have just left. Like, we went back and forth for months on this. I spent whole days worrying about this. Like, we were having arguments that lasted 3 to 4 hours, and then I'd be ranting to my friend about it, and I'd lose the whole afternoon. I'd get nothing done. And what a waste of time that was. Why not just have a conversation, think about it, come back to it later, or something like that, rather than spending, I don't know how many weekends, quite a few weekends lost purely based on this drama. It was stupid, and if I didn't like it, I should have left sooner. I ended up leaving in a very quick fashion. It wasn't thought out, but at the same time it was meant with the purpose of protecting my friends. Not that anything was being done by them, it was just a very particular subject that we were talking about when it came to this. Because we wanted to make stories with like George Guidrew as the blonde doctor, because he was the only doctor in DW 2012 who wasn't getting any content. Now, the reason I talk about that one a lot more openly is because everyone knows that story, and if you don't know it, fair enough. But like, it was something that I never shied away from. Even in my Overton Audio's podcasts, it was the Restaurant Productions Talk With, there was all that stuff that I never strayed away from talking about that stuff, which is why I talk about it now. The problem is, as well, regarding that, it was never made clear to the other people playing different doctors in this universe. It was never made clear that if they were involved in the live action stuff, like made by Luke and everything, it was never made clear that they couldn't make their own stuff, and that's where the trouble aligned. Because people were creating their doctors and then being told they couldn't do anything with it, and that's where the stresses came out. If things had just been clear from the beginning, we would have known what was going on. And people might have had their own choices, then they would have known what was going on, they could have negotiated it, all those things could have happened. So in a way, that was completely avoidable. So anyway, that's my view on it. Over. I spent a lot of 2022 much more at work, I think. There's a lot more work-related stuff. I still got, Overton Audios has been continuing all through this, so I don't need to talk about it, because I go on about it enough. 2022 is what I call the last year of me being able to feel like myself. Because that year, with the arguments, really knocked me down. 2023, I'll be going into it further, but 2023 knocked me down further, and I was going down. 2023 was a bad year, big spiral for me. And then 2024, I just feel like there's something missing about me, but we'll go into that. 2022 overall, me and PMG spent a lot more time together. in terms of work stuff. We were having to travel up to around Nottingham, we were going down to Guildford, we were in Loughborough, we were Coventry, sometimes Milton Keynes. It was all over the place. I have so many fond memories of that, I really do. I really have a lot of fond memories of that. At the time, I hated it, if I'm being honest. It was exhausting to keep doing that. It was really exhausting. I look back on it and I wouldn't have changed it for the world. Also, we had Dan and Anya's wedding. That was a lovely wedding. First time I've been to Ireland in about 12 years. I'll be flying back over there next March, actually. That's a little thing for you. No, it was really lovely and a nice few days there. Got to see Chelsea Lagan again, got to see Aidan. It was just a really lovely time. Also, in September, we flew over to Romania for Bogdan's wedding. This is when, you know, you start to realise people are starting to grow up a bit, if you get my meaning, because things start to change with people and you're like, oh, right. But yes, anyway, what also happened in 2022 was the Queen died. I don't say that to be ironic, nor to make a joke, not at all. The Queen dying was an interesting one for me. A lot of people had different reactions to it. I knew lots of people who were very up in arms about it. They're very much angry at people not caring. I think you call them royalists, I think, but they don't like to call themselves that. I never looked at it from a royal perspective. I looked at it from a grandmother perspective. Not that I am one. I'm talking about it like a family perspective, I should have said. I watched this clip of Prince Harry and Queen Elizabeth at a social event. And Queen Elizabeth is talking to the person who served with Harry. And he's making a couple of jokes going, oh yeah, you wouldn't want to share a tent with him. And she's laughing, and she's having a proper giggle. And you see her familial side. And I always liked that version. The royal stuff, I don't know if I 100% subscribe to, because I've never really delved into it to accept it. I just see it as a traditional thing, not really something that I like the people for, if you know what I mean. Meanwhile, throughout the year, I continued meeting up with friends, and then the year ended what I thought was in a quite a nice way. Just ended quite calmly, really, quite quietly. Oh, this throat is going to kill me, you know, it's going to kill me. Right. Welcome to January.
Hello. And welcome to the February 2023 podcast. It's not a podcast, it's a vlog. And welcome to March.
Oh! Welcome to April. I think this is actually the beginning of April.
Connor's monthly vlog. I'm real. For some people who don't know I'm real. I finally met Chadders.
Hello, this is Chadders' vlog. What month is it? Like July? It's gonna be August. Oh, August then. It's currently July. Makes no sense.
Welcome to September.
Welcome to Connor's monthly vlog.
In October.
Spooky season. Woo.
Hello everyone. Now, when I recorded my segment to talk about 2023, it was after I had recorded all of those segments that you've seen from 2019, 2020, 2021 and 2022. And it caused me, as you know, to have to go through some drama stuff and not so pleasant stuff that had happened that year. 2023 was the worst year out of all of them, I feel. And as a result, when I recorded my bit for 2023, when I spoke of it, it was not accurate to what really happened, I felt. I had a quick watch through of it now, and it's not accurate. I'm reflecting too much on the bad stuff, and that's not how I want this vlog to be. There were plenty of bad things that happened in 2023. I've spoken about them plenty in this vlog before. I've spoken about them in my podcast, the Overton Audio podcast. People who know me personally also know more details. But overall, 2023, and I'm going to keep it brief, 2023 was a year where I had a lot of fun. I met people that I've known and been speaking to for 2 years. I met Isaac Blake, met Eamon Longman. We had a nice trip in Cardiff, although, again, not to lean into it too much, but Cardiff kind of ended on a bit of a sour note for me, hence why the rest of the year wasn't so great. I will admit that, of course, there were bad things that happened in 2023. I keep flip-flopping about the issues of 2023. There's my logical side that tells me it's happened, move forward, you're about to go into 2025. Like, that was nearly now 2 years ago. You can't change it, certainly not now. If it hasn't been able to be changed now, then what's the point? There's also a part of me that is filled with regret about that time. But the best thing I can do right now is be aware of that regret and learn from it, because there's no way I can fix it. I will always have regret over the things I did wrong during that year and what followed afterwards, including things that were out of my control. As much as I really try to course correct, sometimes it just doesn't work. I had a great time in 2023. You can see that in the vlog. You can see that, I met up with friends over the summer and I had a great time.
That thing, Doctor.
Yes, Jamie, that's fucking huge, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, shit, Jamie.
I feel...
Oh, shit, Jamie. Oh, shit, Jamie. Oh, shit, Jamie.
Ultimately, what matters is the positive things. We take and we learn from lessons, but we also appreciate the good times too, and that's what I'm doing. That's the thing I'm doing differently with this segment. So yeah. Hello all, me again. I wanted to quickly tell everyone about a short film that's been re-released after about 7 years. So from the very first, I think it's only the 4th month I ever did, but in the first year of this monthly vlog, we made a film called Detached, which starred Peter M. George, Julia Alphamaya, and was directed by Donald Borgnine. It was his film, and I was filming it. This was April 2015. It's a film that's very sensitive, very sensitive subject matter. Again, if you've been watching my vlogs for that long, you'll know what I'm talking about. Fingers crossed. That wasn't even a finger. Oh, there we go. But talk about it here briefly. It's a very. It got picked up by Survivors UK as a film regarding the aftermath of a rape. It's about a man who was walking home from going out to the pub with a mate, and he's walking down a dark alley and he gets grabbed. That's the most basic form I can explain it in. But the film is about the aftermath of that. It's about how men don't come forward about this, and how they should, really. But not in a forceful way, but just saying it's good to open up and talk and get the help that's, there for you, and not to keep things to yourself. But yeah, that's out. I'm glad that was able to come out just before this ended, just so I can talk about it again, because it's a nice sort of thing. It's come out on the Harmonic Alliance Pictures YouTube channel. It was originally made by Donal, who run Lonely Spaceman Films, but that the video, I don't know why, I still don't to this day, the video was taken offline. And even though when you go to the original Survivors UK article, it is still, the article's still there, and it has a link to the video that now no longer exists, which is a shame. Maybe this new video can get added onto it, I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about that and just say it's out there for people to watch, as nowadays, you know, even the landscape of social media was so much more different in 2015 in comparison to now, that the film could still be positive and topical, you know? So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. But feel free to have a watch. But be warned, the subject matter is potentially triggering.
It's been just over a week since it happened. I thought that after a few days I could just put it behind me. But I can't.
So, there's been a bit of a running thing with this vlog in the past, that when I am recording something on photo booth, it typically means that something is over. And it is. The monthly vlog's over. That is a weird one. So, there are a few little segments coming. There's obviously the end of year for 2024. I think everyone's heard enough of me talk about the last 10 years now for this entire vlog. This is the longest vlog I've done. We're about to go into like minutes worth of compilations. I don't think anyone really needs to hear me talk about this year. I think you've seen it. I just realised my washing's right there. How did I not realise that? Anyway, there's my washing. But anyway, to give a brief summary on 2024, because I'm not going to do another little compilation like I've done with the other ones. I do have an end of year compilation set already. This year has been a nice recovery year for me. What's frustrating is that you look over the last 10 years of mainly this vlogging, but really the last 15, there is a narrative to it. There is just a narrative to life. When these vlogs started in the current format, or the existing format that it is, which is monthly vlogging, it's shown me from my worst state, living in mould, the tiniest, most claustrophobic room, with a bed lent up to the radiator, which was on all the time. It was awful. And it went from me being picked up, finishing university, going out into the working world, building myself up, trying to make films, try and do what makes me happy before then having to take some responsibility in my life and be an adult. Of course, in the last 2 years, I have met Abby Louise, who is one of the people in charge of TT Productions on YouTube, and me and her have been together now for just under 2 years. But as you'll have seen from my vlog, that it's not just a relationship with her that I've had to build up, it's a relationship with her son Noah. Abby has begun monthly vlogging now as well, and so if you want to go and watch her monthly vlogs, because she's not stopping, so I might be cameoing still in those monthly vlogs. But no, it's been very important to me, and I've never spoken about this properly before, but my relationship with Abby is important, but just as important is my relationship with her son Noah. And we've had very good fun times together, all three of us. In fact, which is what I'm leading on to. My monthly vlog, or at least when you look at the earliest point, that being 2010, starts with me making fan films on a digital camera, and with my dad and my sister. And about a month ago or so, we filmed a little trilogy of short films called The Life of Connor, which involved Doctor Who villains appearing. And it felt apt to include this in the vlog, because it's an odd way that the world goes in full circle sometimes. In a very odd full circle. And the vlog will now end with effectively me in the role of my father when the 2010 monthly vlog came out, where he was playing a character in a film, and now I'm in that role. Comes up with that. Turn this to focus. You know how it is.
The normal.
I know how to use a camera, Connor.
Now he is.
Hey.
Noah.
Hey. Bomb bag specials.
What are you doing?
Featuring bomb bag.
And Chadders.
Right.
Chadders.
Yeah.
And Abatha with Noah.
You're going to love these videos
No,
in a few
I'm
years.
not. Turn it
In
off.
years to come.
How do I unfilm it?
How do you unfilm?
How I
Thank you all for watching. Bye.
Bye.
Not only that, am I in a healthy relationship, but also, again, you've got to go back to Noah, who of course we basically say is like my stepson, and I as stepfather, even though no formal marriage has taken place. But you know, that's not me saying I'm married, if anyone is really going to read into that deep. But no, I'm in both of their lives in the long term, and that's what's really important. And that's why it feels so weird to end the vlog with the Life of Connor trilogy. Yeah. So I'll play those, and then I shall return to say farewell to you for 2024. And then I'll be back one final time to lead you into the end of the vlog. That's a weird one. Anyway, enjoy the Life of Connor.
No, are you actually recording though?
Checking his papers. And no, it isn't. Come on.
No.
Overton, Connor's house in the Life of Connor.
Hi there. How are you doing? I'm reading my papers. Oh no! It's an ice warrior!
We are the ice warriors!
Oh no!
We are the ice warriors! There is no escape!
No! No!
There's no escape from the ice warriors!
Man, that ice warrior was hard to escape. Thank you for watching.
Dun 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 dun, dun. In the Life of Connor! This time he is editing. In the Life of Connor is about to start. Do 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 do. Hoodie bag. In the Life of Connor. In the Life of Connor. That's the hate commenter. It's pretty dark because you can't see. You can't see her. In the Life of Connor.
Hello. How are you doing? I'm editing at the moment. Oh no, the mouse isn't working. My computer, it's being hacked.
Daleks are the masters of Earth.
The Daleks have hacked my computer.
Yes.
Why? Why?
Exterminate! 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 The Daleks are the masters of the universe. You are inferior. You will be exterminated. It is dark. Vision impaired. I cannot see. You are an enemy of the Daleks. Exterminate!
Hey, commenter, you have to help me. The Daleks are trying to catch me.
Exterminate!
We've got to stop them. The Daleks are coming
Exterminate!
Look, the Daleks are right here.
Exterminate!
No, the Daleks have killed her.
Exterminate!
No!
The universe belongs to the Daleks. Exterminate! Exterminate! No! No! Vision impaired! I cannot see!
Ah! My mouse is working again. Brilliant. Thanks for watching.
In the life of Connor. Yeah, it's the final episode of In the Life of Connor. In the Life of Connor. Hey, commenter, you can see her better now. She survived the Daleks. She was given a potion by a mysterious figure. We still don't know who that is to this day. Do 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 toot. Do 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 toot. Connor, was it you that gave her the potion?
Maybe. Maybe it was.
It was you.
It was me. I saved her. Hello, everyone. I'm doing the laundry right now.
Hello, I'm Kate commenting on these videos.
Delete, delete, delete.
What's that sound, hey commenter?
We are the Cybermen. We are human.
Oh my
Point
God.
2. You will be upgraded or you will be deleted.
No!
Checking if you are compatible.
No.
You are not compatible. You will be deleted.
No. No. Oh no! No, no! Oh.
Delete, delete, delete. Delete. Delete.
No.
Delete. Delete.
No.
No. Delete.
No. No. Ah, hey commenter, help me! Help me, hey commenter, please!
Why am I called that?
Please! Look, here she comes! Here she comes, help me! No!
Delete.
No! No! Help me, hey commenter, help me!
Are you compatible? You will be deleted. Delete. 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 Delete.
Free me! Oh, thank you!
No! You'll be deleted. Delete. Delete. No. No. Delete. 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 No.
What a dream! I dreamt I was being chased by ice warriors and Daleks and Cybermen. And Abatha was a hate commenter. Thanks for watching.
In the life of Connor wasn't real.
And there we have the Life of Connor trilogy. God, that was a fun hour and a half. Oh, it was weird being on the other side of it, where I was in the position my dad was when I was making films. You can really see as well how films have changed, like fan films or fan productions, how they've changed in terms of their storytelling. Just in terms of the method they're said, because you can see like little things like the music being used and everything, obviously for more internet-based videos, whereas for us, back in the day, for people like myself, we only had television to follow and everything like that. On that note, I think now we go into the 2024 compilation. 2024. Enjoy. Enlightened.
You can extend it. Extend your road, man. Extend it.
This is why we don't have flashbacks.
Eden, look it.
No.
So I'm outside doing some fire door checks, and I just walked into this apartment to find something really interesting.
Yes, that is the celestial body known as the moon. Well done, kids. Next week we'll do the sun. Well, it was lovely entertaining you people for the last
Hello,
years.
Are you ready to skibbity sigma?
Stop!
No cat.
No cat, bro. We're gonna skibbity slicer to dust at Sigma Meals.
Welcome to the monthly vlog.
Oh, the monthly vlog! Get in! Come on!
And just like that, we're at the end. There'll be this compilation next, and then the video's over. We're done. Looking back at that big monthly vlog compilation, there are times where you look back on, like sometimes without having that footage, I don't know if I'd be less depressed or more depressed. What I mean by that is, for those of you who don't know, I was diagnosed with depression back in 2013, which can cause me to, I think anyone, especially in the world we're currently in, you can look back a little bit more apprehensively, negatively, maybe, on recent events. But it's only when you look at this sort of footage do you really notice and really realise that you were in the best times and you didn't know it. And in some ways, better times are on their way, because if the best times look like this, then surely you know that you'll have more times like this, but with richer people and richer personalities, better people, sometimes the same people, but you've all evolved together, you know? There's all that stuff. I'm not trying to get preachy, but looking back on the footage that I have done from the last 10 years, I've realised that maybe all the stuff I was complaining about or not feeling great about or anything like that was actually really nothing and wasn't really as bad as I thought it was. Like all the stuff where I've talked about the previous years and they've, they have had me down, they still will sometimes make me feel down, but sometimes you just got to look at where you are and the people you've got around you and the things that you have as well. Obviously it's not all material, but you've got to admire where you've got to. So whether or not you're making a monthly vlog or not, look at where you were the year before. Or, for example, look at how much you've probably changed. I mean, I know a lot of people who've changed as a result of COVID, for example. COVID, I think, matured me much faster than I realised. Because the year before, I was getting into party mode, basically, which is quite big for me. But yeah, the year... compare me from this time last year to now, massive difference. And now, I move forward without the monthly vlog. I don't know if I'll still do those 1 second every day. I don't know. It's too early to say. I'm saying goodbye to this. I'm going to move forward without vlogging, without any of it. And I have to make sure I live it to the best of my ability. I know I've been neglectful of other things, more in terms of projects. My main channel where I made films, I haven't made films in such a long time now. And then of course we've got, like other channels. Oh, what was it? Like Harmonica Lions Pictures. God, that hasn't been done anything with in about 8 years. I recently came across, and this might be a nice thing to mention, I don't want to get people's hopes up, but I recently came across the original login to a channel I haven't been on in 12 years called YouTube Fanatics, and that is crazy as well because I've got access to that and we can do anything with that now. It's amazing, it's incredible, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what I do next. You know, obviously I've still got the podcast for Overton Audios, that's still a monthly podcast, but the vlog is always continuous. I'm always filming something, I'm always editing, I'm always adding stuff into it. Like that's gone now, it's gone. Now I'm likely, like I mentioned earlier, there are other people who do vlogs, and I'm likely to appear in them, and I will obviously, still share them on my socials and stuff like that, but yeah, that's the monthly vlog. 10 years of monthly vlogging, that's 120 months. 120 episodes of this over 10 years. And then the extra 4 episodes before, which takes us to what? 124? Quite big, really. It's one of those things where I'm a little bit stuck up for words of what to say. I've just gone on that massive speech, and now what? All I have to say is, I don't want to say goodbye, because it's not a goodbye, because I'll still be posting on Overton Audios, I'll be on Red Manor Productions, I'm still part of fan community discords, I'm not disappearing, it's just that you're not being given an insight into what I'm doing in my private life anymore. That's it, really. But all I'll say is, for those of you who watch for the monthly vlog only, good luck, goodbye, and I hope you take a look at some of my other content. If you know me personally already, or you know me from other things that have come here, I'll see you around.
Better than you could do. You. I've got your glasses and I've got your jeans, and I got my drinks cheap, but you get them free. And if you don't want it back, you can return it. And if you don't want a book, then you can burn it. You couldn't lose if you tried. You're so pathetic. You could do me, but no one knows you're doing me. You haven't got my awkward silence and my 3 ways of acting. Loud on entry and quiet upon receipt. And my lack of mind to know when I am me. And if you don't want it bad, you can return it. And if you don't want a book, then you can burn it. You couldn't lose if you tried. You're so pathetic. I'll try to follow it up. I'll never get it. And I won't be a winner. And you won't be a winner. And you can just tell, you can just tell, you can just tell that I'll never make it. You can just tell, you can just tell that I'll never make it. And I am the other. I said, what a shame we didn't fight it. You are the one. And I am the other. I said, what a shame we didn't fight it. I said, what a shame we didn't fight it. I won't be a winner, and you won't be a winner. And you can just tell, you can just tell, you can just tell, you can just tell, you can just tell that I'll never make it. You can just tell, you can just tell that we'll never make it.
Hello everyone, it is me. Today is January the 8th, 2015, and I'm going to make a project all year called 2015.
No, because I thought, I mean, 2015 I just felt like was what's the point? But then I do get to look back and go, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, you're
Whether
always...
that's a good thing or not, I don't know.
Welcome everyone to the monthly vlog.
Come on! Do not collect £200 and pass go.
This is Chadwick's vlog. What month is it? Like July?
Hello. And welcome to the February 2023 podcast. It's not a podcast, it's a vlog.
Sentimental moment.
No,
Very sentimental. This is everyone should cry. You're watching this. Make him carry on. Cry.
I don't know. As he starts, I think we're just. Is it in you?
I will miss the monthly vlogs.
We're doing a test.
I will also
there's
miss
a clip
the
from
monthly
this
vlog.
trip where he's like, "This will be the last time they appear in the monthly vlogs," and now we're at the end of it.
Yeah, now we're at the end.
So we've already
And now we're going to do weekly vlogs.
Yes, daily.
Stare at the window. Connor can make a montage.
Miss, goodbye everyone. Goodbye.
Connor's constant vlog. Connor's stream every day. How bizarre. How bizarre.
Albazar.
How bizarre.
Dumbledore.